All right, we are back and we are almost done with this bad boy. This is Unit 3, Assignment 1, Part 3. This is an intense assignment. We have written hello. We have changed it so we're writing hello by functions, and now we're going to write world, which seems like, it's a long word, but it's not, because we're going to reuse a lot of what we did for the word hello in the word world. Think about all of the letters L, O, and actually we're going to make our D look exactly like an O. So W-O-R-L-D. All we have to basically write is code for W and O. That's it. Because we're going to be able to call up those same functions. So here we go. Find your computer science folder. Open up your code for hello by functions by right-clicking and editing with idle. And it's going to pull up all of this great stuff. So let's remember what we did. We called up our turtle. We defined the function for drawing a space. We defined the function for moving a turtle. And then we defined the function for drawing an H, drawing an E, drawing an L, and drawing an O. And then we called all those functions. Everything we're going to do now needs to come before the function call because we need to define some more functions before we call them up. So I'm going to start by clicking at the bottom of my O. And I want to go ahead, and if you don't know what I did there, if I just click return right after the draw space, it'll auto indent. So I just backspace, and that puts me back to the beginning. But you know me, I like an extra space. We need to draw a new line. I'm going to put the word world on a separate line. So the function that I'm defining now is a function called draw new line. I'm going to define the function for how to draw a new line. I'm going to add a comment so that my user knows what this does. This is going to pick up the turtle and move it to a second line. Okay, that's what we're doing here. So what do I need to do here for a new line? Well, obviously the first thing I'm going to do is, if I'm going to pick up the turtle, is I've got to pen up. Then the next thing I need to do is I need to go from where I ended, and I need to move down and over. So on my go-to, remember the first call that I always go to is my x-axis. I want to go all the way over on the x-axis to where I started the word world. I started the word world at -200. I want to be back in that same starting point. And then I don't want to go down 100, or if you remember back up here where we started at -200, and then we went up 100 spaces. I want to end about 50 spaces below where I was before. So I'm going to go -50. That's going to put a space between my two words of -200, -50. Now, if I wanted to see how this all was going to run, I would come down here and I would put new line in, and we can do that real quickly in just a second here, because the next thing I need to do, of course, is pen down. So I'm ready to go. So if I really quickly took my new line function, and remember, don't put the colons, I could put that there. And I'm going to save as real quickly because this is one more part of this assignment, and this is Hello by Functions assignment is the name they give it in the course. And now I'm going to run it and watch what happens here. Hello. H-E-L-L-O. And he jumps down here. Okay, so he moved all the way over 200 pixels back to where we started. And then he moved down to a -50 on the y-axis. And now we're going to go like this and start writing the word world. And it's going to look like a computer world, so everything's going to be very boxy. Good, I'm happy with that. All right, back up to the top. Get over all the way. We don't need to indent yet because we're going to define the function called draw W. Same way we did before. When I define the functions, I add the colon. When I call the functions, I do not add the colon. And when I return, isn't that cool? My computer knows once I'm defining a function that it's going to indent. My program does, so it hits me right where I need to be. And I'm going to add a comment for what this is. This is drawing a W. So from where I am, I'm thinking about where I was facing. Let's run this puppy again so we can think about where we were facing. Oh yeah, I've got the indent block. It's not going to want to do that yet. Okay, never mind. Let me reopen that again. when you have a function started and you don't call it, Python gets really cranky at you. And that's what happened here. So from where I was facing, if I can picture where I ended up, I need to turn left 90 to start drawing that first leg of the W. A W in this program is going to look like an E turned. Remember how the E was with just like straight line across, line, straight line, line. It was just really boxy. We're going to draw the W just like that, but just make it a little skinnier. So the first thing I want to do is I want to turn to the left 90 degrees. Okay. And then I'm going to go up 100. This is the first line of my W. So without having to call and save everything, let's kind of do things like this here, okay? So I turned to the left 90 and I went forward 100 pixels. That's the first thing I did. Now in a W, remember that my W is eventually going to look like this. That's kind of what we're going for, except all these would be one straight line across. So I went here and now I'm going to turn around and I want to come back. So the way we do that, if you remember, I'll minimize this guy, is I go forward, -100. That moves him straight back down. From where I am now, I need to turn to the right so that my little turtle guy is facing the right direction, 90 degrees. And I'm going to draw the bar across. The bar across, in this case, I'm only going to make 25 degrees. I want it to be a quarter of the length of the high bars. If I can call this guy up, I want this guy to just be about like that. Just about a quarter of the length of these long ones right here. So I went up, back, turn to the right, 25. The next thing I'm going to need to do is turn my little guy to the left because he's facing this direction. And I'm going to come up another 100. Because he's basically, like I said, he's basically the E. So I turn to the right 90. I'm going to go forward 25. And now I need to turn my little guy to the left 90 and go forward 100. And of course, the same way I did before, I've got to come back. I've got to come down 100 again. So let's kind of look here at the picture. I went forward 100, back, turn to the right, 25, turn to the left, 100, and back. Now I'm going to want to turn to the right again, correct? And I'm going to want to go 25, right 90, forward 25. And I'm just going to save because that's what I like to do. Now I need to turn to the left 90 so I can go 100 and back. Left 90, forward 100, come back 100. So now I'm kind of picturing where I am here in my picture. I went up and back here and I'm right here. I need to create a space here. And remember, I'm pointing this direction right now. Okay, my little turtle's pointing this direction. I need to get ready to draw the O. And because I'm thinking about how my O function works, I need to turn my little guy this way to be ready to draw the O. So I'm going to turn to the right 90, and then I'm going to add the draw space function so that my O is ready to happen right here. Okay. Whoop. Right 90. And then I'll put in my draw space just like that. So I save. Now you're saying to yourself, Mrs. Mack, I'd like to see how all of this is working. Sounds great. Let's go ahead and call the W right here. Let's save and let's run it. And notice I took out any extra lines that might have a weird indent in them. Oh, look at that beautiful W. And now my little guy is ready to go. I don't need to write any new commands, any new code for an O. I already did that. He's pointed, ready to go. And notice when I did here, I had some extra spaces before I could run it, and one had an indent. You want no extra indents. So what I'm going to do next, just to keep myself in the right place, is I'm going to call up the O. Just so I can keep kind of watching what I'm doing here. Here goes my hello. Jump to the new spot. W. O. And because of this O, I had already added my space in here. Remember how I did that? The reason I did that is because I knew I'd want a space here on this one. All right, next I need the word R. Now I don't have any code for an R, so I'm going to have to define the code for R. All right, and then we'll put in our comment, right? Draw an R. And you notice on my code up here, I mean, my comments, sometimes I have like a space here, sometimes I don't. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to keep it consistent. Okay. I'm thinking about my little guy. He is pointing to the right, ready to move forward. So on my R, I need to make the line of the R going straight up. And I got to tell you, this R is not going to look like a normal R. This R is going to look a little bit strange. Let's do like this. Let's start giving ourselves some white space here. This R is going to look like this. Kind of like an A. It's not going to have this nice guy here. We could do that, but we're just going to draw this. Okay? So, we'll come back to that. The first thing I want to do, since my little guy is pointing to the right, I want to turn him back around to the left to draw the top line of the R. To draw the left side of the R. And I want that to be the same length as all my other letters, so I'm going to make it 100 pixels long. Okay? Now I want him to turn to the right and draw. So we did this. He's pointing this direction. I want him to draw this line. So I'm going to turn him to the right 90 degrees. And I'm going to only move forward in this case 50. I'm going to have that line be half the length of the leg. My next plan is to come back the other direction. So I'm going to move him forward 50 and then forward negative 50. So let's see if we can kind of visualize what we're doing here. We went up, we turned to the right, we went this way, and now this way. But we're still pointing to the right. Okay? So now we need to turn around to the left and come back down halfway here so that we're right here in the middle. So we need to make a 90-degree left and go forward negative 50. Turn my guy. Come back 50. Now what? All right, here we are. We went up. We turned to the right. We made a bar. We came back. We turned to the left. We came back. We're halfway here. Okay. So now I need to turn to the right because I'm pointing this direction. And I'm going to draw this bar right here. I'm going to turn right 90 and I'm going to make another 50-degree bar. And forward 50. I say 50 degree and I mean 50 pixels. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, another 50 pixel bar. So right 90, forward 50. With me so far? Let's take a look at what we've got. I'm going to see if I can move this. There we go. Here we go. Perfect. Let's see if we can erase some of this too. To give us a little better idea of what we're doing here. Okay, so we turned left 90, we went forward 100. We turned to the right, forward 50, came back. Turned to the left, came down, turned to the right, forward 50. You with me so far? Sure you are. I'm going to turn to the left 90 now, and I'm going to go forward 50 so that I make this part of the R, and I'll have this whole thing figured out. So let's turn to the left 90. And you know, this isn't the only way to do this, really. I mean, there's other ways you could draw this particular R, but this is just the way I'm doing it. Perfect. So now I went up here. So now I need to draw this straight line coming down here. And a super simple way to do that is to just go forward negative 100. I'm still, however, facing straight up. So to get ready for my L, which I've already written the code for, I'm going to turn to the right 90 and I'm going to draw a space. That brings me all the way back down the right-hand leg. This turns me so I'm in the right position. And now I'm going to call up the draw space function. Woohoo! And because I'm me, and I want to make sure, see, I don't have any weird indents. Weird indents are a problem. I get rid of everything, and I want to see what happens now. So I call up my draw R function. I want to see what's going to happen. Here we go. H-E-L-L-O, H-E-L-L-O, W-O. Woo! And now I'm in position for my L. And a delightful thing happens now. I don't have to write the code for an L. All I've got to do is call up the function for an L. Let's see what happens. Yay! And last but not least, I've got to do a D. Here's the deal, guys. I'm not drawing a D. We're just going to use the O because the O already kind of looks like a D. So now I'm just going to call up the code for draw O. I really don't need to call up the code for draw a D. Because watch what happens. Already my O's look like D's, right? I mean, they're already really boxy. They really don't look like O's. And I know that's supposed to say hello world. And because I know that's what it's supposed to say to me, it doesn't look like hello Wowild or Wowallo. We're going to call that hello world. Woo! We did it, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing we need to add, though. We need to add our exit on click. Because that's the best way to shut it down. Run it one more time. And you're not done yet, okay? Because this is the last video in this part of the series. So please, please, please don't click out yet. I want to show you what to do next so you get your points. Now, when I click, watch what happens. He goes away. Being Mrs. Mac, you know me, save and save again. Now I'm going to close everything out and I'm going to show you how to upload here, okay? I want you to click on hello. I want you to hold down shift and I want you to click on hello by functions. This highlights all three of these. These three items are big enough that they have got to be compressed. Right click, send to, compressed folder. And now I have a whole folder called hello by functions. If I open this, everything's in there. Okay, so what do we do now? Here we are back in the class and it tells me that I have to log in again. So hang on one second. I'm going to pause. Hang on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now I've got the class back open. And I'm going to go to Unit 3. And I'm going to scroll down here to Unit 3 Assignment 1, which is Graphical Hello World. I click on my Dropbox. I scroll down to Upload. And I'm uploading the compressed file, the whole thing. Always comments, Mrs. Mac rocks. And I hit submit. And as usual, I'm not going to submit because I don't want to grade my own assignment. That's it, guys. This is the hardest part. So it's taken us about an hour to get through this whole assignment. I promise you it takes longer if you do it in the class. So you're lucky. But this is a tough one. It takes some work. You're now going to be using this hello by functions over and over and over. In the next chapter, the next unit, we're going to do hello by variables. And then we're going to change those variables to show loops. So don't be freaked out that we're going to keep on using the same part of the program over and over. You did it. You made it through Unit 3. Submit this file and get your points. Nice job, guys.